So, you want to run speedrun, Warpath Jurassic Park. Well, first of all, you have to choose which game mode you would like to speedrun. There are a few different game modes you can consider running. There are 4. Arcade, Arcade Hard, Survival, and All Dinosaurs. The easiest to start with would be to start with Arcade and Easy. To go change your options, match settings, and here you can change the difficulty of the game. I would personally keep all settings like I have them here. Besides the displays, if you want them on the top, you can put them on the top, but you don't need to put them there. Everything else, I would keep it as is. Also because I noticed that some people do put frenzy mode off or edibles off. Edibles you can put off. Actually, I should do that as well. But frenzy mode I would definitely keep. Unless... Well, I would just keep it on, and I think that's something that we as a community still have to decide on whether we're gonna have to have it on or not, because it makes a significant difference. Because if you trigger frenzy mode, it's a guaranteed time loss, even though it can save you time as well. So, but I'll get to that. So, what is arcade mode? Arcade mode is a series of 8 battles. And after every battle, your health is restored to maximum. And that is basically it. And you have to win all 8 fights to complete your speedrun. You do have continues in this game mode. But if you want to go fast, you do not want to use a continue. Arcade Hard is the exact same as the arcade game mode, except on the hard difficulty. The leaderboard might not show it, but it's significantly harder. The AI can really mess you up in that game mode, and not dying even once is pretty darn good. So I would not recommend trying to start with a hard mode unless you've played this game plenty before. And then we go to survival mode, which is another game mode. Survival is also very difficult because not only do you have to win all 8 matches, but if you die once, your run is over. And on top of that, whatever damage you take, the majority of it is transferred to the next fight. So if you would be 80% damage taken, then the next fight you'd only have like... my apologies. The next fight you would start with 70% damage or something like that. So the more damage you take in that game mode, the harder it will be to complete a run. So that's something to take into account. And then the final category we have for speedrunning is all dinosaurs. And what that means is you go into arcade mode with a fresh memory card, so no saves. And you will see that only the top row of dinosaurs is unlocked. And they don't have this V thing next to them. And basically you go through all dinosaurs. You start with Acro, for example, and you play through the game mode, and then you'll see that the end boss is Garchar. If you do that again with Giga, and you complete your run, then you will get a message that there's an extra dinosaur unlocked, being Karkar. And you basically continue that until you have all these dinosaurs unlocked, and you played with them as well. And that's the gist of it. So you not only need to unlock all dinosaurs, but you also need to complete a run with all of them. There is a ranking to how you would do it, or a strategy. For example, Raptor is a really hard one to use, because it's fairly weak, it doesn't deal a lot of damage, but its attacks are fast-ish. But the problem with how they designed the dinosaurs is that it really does not matter that you want to go for a fast character in this game. Like, it does not. All you want is damage. Speed does not matter at all. So I would do a Raptor first, and once you unlock Spino, because it's basically the same as Raptor, I would take Spino as quickly as possible. And all the others don't really matter. Besides Patchy, I would also try to get a game in, a run in with Patchy as soon as possible, because those three dinosaurs are for me the biggest run killers. Because a lot of things can go wrong with them. The game can be very weird with hitboxes sometimes. So that is also one of the reasons why Raptor and Pachy in particular are fairly bad to use, as well as some of the others. Sometimes don't feel nice to use because hitboxes. For example, if you use the T-Rex and you try for an attack that tries to grab the opponent's legs, but they're something like a Stiggy or a big dinosaurs like the Cryo, your dinosaur can almost be in the other one before you're able to actually execute the move. So that makes this a little bit difficult sometimes. And that is basically the gist of like all dinosaurs mode. Accidentally, let's back out of that. I accidentally started the game. But yeah, that's basically the gist of the different categories. Now, the next thing you probably want to know is like, okay, I want to do a run, but how do I know which dinosaurs are the best? What's the fastest? Of course, there's the leaderboards where you can look at, hey, what dinosaur did number 1 and number 2 players use to get that high up or that fast of a time. And of course, that's something you can do. But if you want my opinion, there are 3 dinosaurs that are much better than the other ones. Those being the Suchomimus, or just Sucho, or however you want to pronounce that, the Yankee, and the Trike. Why those 3? Suchomimus because it's easy to use and it really hits hard. Anki because it's, if I had to describe it, I would say it's a good all-rounder. It's also very easy to use, and it's a very safe one to use. But it's not necessarily the fastest, but being the safest sometimes makes you fast. Believe it or not. And then lastly, we have Trike, who hits as a fucking truck. But he's hard to use, I feel. Well, how to put this in words? Like, he's not necessarily hard to use, but it's hard to get like a decent run going with him, because if things go wrong with Trike, they usually go really wrong. Yeah. Also, in my opinion, the more dinosaurs you unlock doesn't always make runs easier. Because the AI for Stiggy and Pachy is really fucked up. Um, while they are not the best dinosaurs, for some reason their AI feels more like a medium or hard AI on easy mode than anything else. Like, they're significantly more difficult to face. Um, might also be a little bit because their hitbox is much smaller than the larger dinosaurs, which is a problem. Um, but yeah, they're two of the more difficult ones to face in arcade any percent. Um, well, in every game mode, pretty much. So, and by unlocking an extra dinosaur like Pachy, you have a good possibility that you'll face either one in your run or both. Um, both would be the worst possibility. Best is that you get none and that you get Giga, Acro, Karchar, T-Rex, Suchomimus, Cryo, Alberto, and Stirak. So, yeah. Now, obviously, we have talked about the best dinosaurs. Now, what makes the best dinosaurs the best dinosaurs? That's obviously their moves. Let's pick let's pick Acro. Okay. So, for the Suchomimus, we have a few moves that are interesting to use. This is practice mode, so I won't be attacked, which is easy to show off what I mean. So, first move is, and this is a combination of a triangle and a circle. So what that does is it flips a dinosaur and it gets knocked down, which makes it so you can easily do some damage. Now, what you want to follow that up with is you press right on your D-pad and square at the same time. And it should do... well, that's another attack. But yes, that's what it's supposed to do. It should do like a large sweeping attack, and that does a lot of damage. Now, once you do that, you wait and it gets back up. If you time it right and the AI does not dodge, you can stun lock them by instantly doing that move again. Now, you have another knockdown move that's pretty good on Suchomimus, and it's this one. Why is that one so good? Because it does a ton of damage. But it's not always hard to pull off, because against smaller dinosaurs, this one can miss very easily. And those combined with, again, the slash after you knock them down, I would always use that slash because the damage is just ridiculous. So those are the most important moves to know. There is a document on the speedrun.com website that has all button presses with their moves. So if you want to know the other moves, I would suggest looking it up. But those are the moves you want to use. And then you have press forward twice followed by square. It's also a move that you could use. It knocks them down, and it's nice to use if things go wrong. Like, you back up by pressing back on the D-pad twice, and then... Oops. Messed that up there. And then you just press right twice and square, and it knocks them down. Simple as that. Okay. Oh, shit. Yeah, this... Oh, fuck. I forgot. Because it's a little buggy sometimes like this. In any case, I think I'll... I'm really not allowed to go back. Let me figure this out for a second. Well done. There we go. So yeah, the menu being incomplete there really is a little annoying. But I'd never use a practice mode because of that reason, basically. I think they forgot to finish that. Okay, so let's pick Anki and Zuko. Anki. Anki is pretty interesting. What I always do, or mostly, it depends on the matchup, but just jumping up and forward at the same time, followed by square, does a nice attack that knocks them down, like that. And then, like for most carnivore dinosaurs you'll be facing, this is a nice attack because they usually go low or do a just straight at your face, and then this one will knock them down and you will not take damage. The only exception is Raptor, where you can't use this. Well, you can, but it doesn't always work because Raptor has an attack that tries to bite your face, and if you're in the air while they bite your face, you get knocked down. Okay, so you jump, you knock them down, and then you press triangle twice. Then what you want to do is either you go into the triangle circle attack, which knocks them down, or you go into the square and X at the same time attack, which also knocks them down. And then you want to continue this. Now, at this point, your frenzy meter will probably be full. And you'll see that Anki will knock his tail on the floor and he'll be enraged, basically. What you want to do then is press R2 and triangle at the same time. It will start a very strong attack. I can't show it off here, but it's basically what you use to win afterwards. It's very good. It's a very good attack to win fights with. And that's basically how I use Anki. I think that's basically everything about Anki that needs to be said. Like jump, knock them, and then you knock them down again. And then you just slap them with the tail, you get in frenzy mode, you back off, like always back off if you're in frenzy mode, and then press R2 and any other button. If you don't back off, there is a very big chance that you'll get knocked down, and that is a huge time save, and we don't want that. Time loss, and we don't want that. So always back off. Okay. Was having some problem menuing. So that's basically everything you need to know about Anki. Jump up, press square after you jumped. Do it after you jumped. Well, after you start going in the air, use that button. If you do it at the same time, things can go wrong. This game can be finicky about button inputs, which is fairly annoying, trust me. And then the basic knockdown moves that every dinosaur has. Now, Trike is a whole different beast. And I will show you. Because Trike, pretty silly what happens. I don't know why this works. But if you press right on your D-pad, followed by circle, this happens. You knock them down. The damage that move does is ridiculous. And because how slow Trike is, you almost certainly stun lock them. And by the fourth time or so you did this, the enemy's dead. Now, it's not an exact science of how to start a fight with Trike. Jumping up like that is a pretty solid decision. This could also work. Don't use it against tiny dinosaurs. It misses more often than not. So does this move. And as you can see... Wait, I'll show it. Even though I'm almost in his sprite, I'm missing the attack. So it has to be pretty exact with this. So what you want to do is use that move. Like just 2 times right on the D-pad and then just circle. And you knock them down and do a butt ton of damage. And that's basically how you use Trike. But it's definitely harder to get a good run going with Trike. But the potential of Trike is the highest among all dinosaurs. So yeah, that is basically it. That is all you need to know to start speedrunning the game. To look up the guides on all the moves the dinosaurs have, and even though there's an 8-button combo in there, it's very, very unlikely that the AI will let you pull it off. The AI is very prone to guarding, which just stops the combo flat in its tracks. And if it stops flat in its tracks, it's very likely the AI will grab you and knock you down. So I never use it because I just think it's a waste of time. Now, if you are able to make it work consistently, then good on you. Please feel free to take away my world record because it will be faster. But so far I have not been able to make it work consistently. Anyway, yeah, I think that's all for this video. If there are any questions or comments, feel free to ask them and put them in the comment section below. Thank you for watching and see you on the leaderboards.